I was born and raised in southern Indiana, and I have always considered myself to be a Hoosier. Even though I have traveled all over the world and have now spent more time outside of Indiana than in it, I still consider myself to be that same person who grew up in a small town in the Midwest. That was before my recent trip to Chicago. My trip to the Chai, as the locals call it, showed me that I have changed. It all started out with a feeling of nostalgia. That yearning for the past caused me to make that trip so that I could eat something that I haven't eaten in forever and a day. That trip was to a city that will always hold a special place in my heart. My love for the Windy City started many years ago when I used to work there. If I am being honest, it was so long ago that it feels like another lifetime. Another lifetime or not, the traffic situation in Chicago hasn't changed. That's why I took the train. I was coming from Wisconsin, which is already a long trip to me. However, that is just the start. Once you get there, you have to deal with the bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's why I decided to use Amtrak. I guess that since I wasn't driving, I had more time to think. The more time that I spent thinking, the more I began to focus on what the old timers used to say. You can never go home again. That's a saying that has stood the test of time, and it is largely because it is true. When you leave home for a long time and you try to go back, you realize that everything has changed. Restaurants that you used to eat at have shut down. Stores that you used to shop at have been rebranded and sell completely different products. People that you used to know, you realize that you don't know them anymore. They have changed so much, you begin to think that maybe you never knew them in the first place. Some people who were obese are now skinny, and some people who were skinny are now obese. At the end of the day, Father Time is undefeated. Things move on, whether you are there to witness it or not. My trip to Chicago wasn't just about how things physically changed, though. When I got to Chicago, I began to wonder if I was the one who had changed. I went to Chicago to eat at Maxwell Street. Maxwell's is one of those spots in the hood where you go to get good food cheap. Maxwell's was my spot back in the day. Going back home at night from the city, I would always stop by to get a fried pork chop sandwich, covered in an unseemly amount of onions and a bag full of enough French fries to make Five Guys jealous. It was insane to me how good the food was, considering the price that they were selling it for. I remember going back to my home and devouring that sandwich as if my life depended on it. That was Chicago to me, a blue-collar city with good, hearty blue-collar food. I traveled back to Maxwell's that day expecting to have the same experience that I had so many times before, so many years ago. However, that was not meant to be. To put it bluntly, my memories and my taste buds lied to me. This was the same spot, but it was not as good as I remembered. I started things off with the Polish sausage, one of the things that they are really known for. This looks like it tasted. One big soggy mess. Nothing about this slop was worth writing home about. While eating it, my only thought was, how much of this do I have to eat so that I won't feel guilty about throwing the rest away? Next, I endured the pork chop sandwich. I said what I said. This is not something that you eat. This is something that you endure. This tasteless, formless mess was completely devoid of any seasoning at all. Is there a shortage of salt and pepper in Chicago? Did Roberts make off with all the cayenne pepper? The only redeeming factor of this sandwich is that I did not get food poisoning. After struggling through this mess, I didn't just cross Maxwell's off my list. I doused its name with gasoline and incinerated it. Not only will I never go back, I didn't even want to accidentally stumble upon its name anymore. On a positive note, even though I can never go back home, I will always have the memories.